Well, it's another hot and muggy day, so it must be time for some more Blood Bowl. So this is DisturbingPuppet playing again with my current season with my High Elf team in the Blood Bowl competition that's been ongoing. So I did run into some few issues with the previous stream where it sort of stopped live streaming. I'm not sure if it completely died or not. I just checked the video afterwards, and the video on Twitch seemed fine. My recording seemed fine, so maybe just people watching it live got dropped. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. It was a connection error that popped up. But the video is intact and worked fine when I double-checked it on Twitch, and I've got it saved, so I'll be uploading that later on my YouTube channel as well. So we're just kind of continuing with this campaign, playing High Elves. I wanted to play something a little different. I'm kind of used to playing more sort of bruiser teams, beating up the opponent, doing damage to them, and then kind of exploiting any openings from there. So just checking everything here. Looks like it's working okay. So I'll go over the teams here real quick. I set up kind of a round robin. What I wanted to have was all the teams play all the other teams twice before going into the playoffs. There's a total of 8 teams in the competition. And then this is the 6th game of the second round robin. It doesn't tally the results together like it did in the previous game if you set it up that way. So it does have it separated, but it's not going to make too much of a difference, I think, based on the results from the first round robin. So we've got my High Elf team with quite a high team rating, so I'm a little bit worried about how much money and stuff the Chaos Dwarves are going to get for star players and things that are going to screw up my plans. Hopefully the fan that I've got going here to keep me from dying in the heat and the humidity is not too loud. If it's hard to hear or something, if anybody puts a comment in the chat, I'll see if I can adjust it or something. So I have a few games here on Twitch still. It only saves them for 14 days, and then after that I will put them up on my YouTube channel, which is also DisturbingPuppet, so please check out stuff there if you're interested. So I'll do a quick rundown on the teams here. So the High Elves have been pretty fun. Actually, they're really expensive to start with, and I wanted to start with an Apothecary, so I was kind of limited to begin with, but now I've had money, things are going pretty well, my guys are leveling up really well. It's nice to play an agile team every once in a while. There's so many different things you can do. So this is an example. My thrower getting incredibly good here. I rolled doubles with his first level up to pick up Strong Arm. Since then I've picked up Kickoff Return because I'm mainly using only him to receive when the ball's coming my way, and then just recently picked up Accurate after the last game. So with the 4 Agility, Accurate, and the Strong Arm, I should be able to pull off some pretty amazing passes with him. So I've got a couple catchers here with the same skills. Both of them I've picked up Dodge and Block with. Partially because my catchers have a strength of 3, unlike a lot of the team's catchers with only a 2. So with the movement, I can use these guys to catch, but I can also use them to run the ball, and I can use them to blitz. I can hit people, try to knock the ball free. It gives me a lot more options having the high movement allowance with the high agility and then having dodge and block. But also having dodge and block means it's very hard to take them down. So it just reduces the chances of them being taken out. One of them did, however, get an injury, so lost a point of armor value. For my linemen, mostly I've got blocks. I do have one guy with guard, but he's actually out because of an injury for this game. Then I've got one blitzer with tackle and strip ball. No other modifiers or anything or other skills. My other blitzer still hasn't received his first level up, so still just has block. The other 2 catchers I picked up later are down here, so with them I actually rolled doubles with both of them. So I picked up Nerves of Steel, which affects catching, but also possibly intercepts, so that the enemy tackle zones don't really count against them. Haven't really had that come up where the other teams have been throwing the ball to possibly have an intercept, but I figured it would be nice to help me catch the ball if I need to. And then this second one did pick up a level up. I think it was after the last game, so I went ahead and got him dodge. And then we're up to 5 team rerolls now. I went ahead and spent the money to do that. Let's take a look at the Chaos Dwarves. And incidentally, I did play Chaos Dwarves in the last seasons. All those games are up on my YouTube channel, so if you're interested, you have that there. So it just has the 1 Bull Centaur. There's actually 2 Chaos Dwarf teams in this competition. So I'm still not used to, even though I've played this game a lot, I played the previous game, I played the board game, I'm still not used to a lot of the little icons and stuff. So I really wish it would just list the names of the skills, especially when you're looking at the guys on the field. So he's got somebody with kick, sure hands, Just quickly looking, I don't see any stat increases anywhere. So then we've got another one with Sure Hands, which is a good skill to have. That's what I picked with most of my Hobgoblins, I think, last time. He's got 2 with Kick, which is kind of interesting. And some Hobgoblins here with no increases. With the Bull Centaur. He's picked up Block with him, so he's a little bit dangerous. And we've got all the Chaos Dwarves here. It looks like Guard has been picked up on quite a few of them, so that's going to make dealing with that front line difficult. And I think that's Dauntless? Stand Firm. Okay, yeah. I never remember the icons, other than Block or things that you see all the time. So he's actually got a couple here with Stand Firm. Most of them have Guard, which is going to make dealing with them a lot harder. And he's also got a disadvantage for the team value, so he's going to have all kinds of money to pick up star players and nasty things to mess up my plans. So let's get into it. I'm not going to spend any money on stuff. I could, but it just increases the amount of money he'd have. Doesn't make much difference. So we've got the Halfling Master Chef. Will steal my rerolls. I think one of these is the Goblin Chainsaw guy. The other one I think is the Chaos Dwarf star player. So I'll have to take a look at that when they're setting up. Have a little bit extra time. Usually we can take a look at them and their skills. So I have been playing quite a bit. I've played 2nd edition board game with an undead team, and then played the previous game on my Xbox 360 with all the teams on there. So partly with this game, mostly I've been playing the teams that weren't on the 360 version. So I played Undead, then Chaos Dwarves, and then now playing High Elves. Looks like it's snowing. I'm not sure what the results for that will be. So I do have a lot of experience with Blood Bowl, but kind of my experiences with different versions, and sometimes the rules aren't the same. Sometimes rules don't come up often enough to really remember them. So I will make mistakes. I will mess things up occasionally, especially streaming when I'm trying to talk and walk you through my thought process, trying to put some general ideas for people who might be newer to the game, things to keep an eye out for, things to think about. So I'll try to have a little bit of tips for people who might be starting out playing Blood Bowl, just very general kinds of things, and sort of walking you through my thought process as we're going through the game. That's pretty much all I'm doing. I'm kind of got my new gaming laptop and just kind of figured if I'm playing certain games, I might as well stream them, so that's what I'm doing. And then putting them up on YouTube later as well. So I'm curious what the snow effect is going to be. I'm not sure. I'll have to take a look. I usually do like to kick the ball, which means that you'll get the ball for the second half. So you're kicking it away for the first half, getting it for the second half. I typically prefer that. If you're playing a really weak team, you might want to go first, because that way you can kind of get your hits in before the opponent does. It sort of depends on the situation. But mostly I found it preferable for me to get the ball in the second half. So there you can see it didn't affect rerolls at all. So I'm kicking, so I'm setting up first. This is not actually his setup, but he might have something relatively similar. So in most of these kind of situations, I'm often going to put the fewest number of guys on the front line as I can. I'm not really playing a bruiser team that's going to win the fight in the middle. I just want to sort of tie them up and put the minimum number of guys that I have to on the front line. I am going to put my guys with block on there because it will help them kind of stay on their feet, possibly. Yeah, I guess we can keep him out. He just needs one more point to level up. And just keep my thrower back as a kicker. At some point I might pick up kick for him as well. What I usually do is put my player with guard back here, usually not on the front line, because I'm usually just putting the minimum number of 3 on the front line. And then on my turn I could move the player up with guard to help give me assists and things where I needed it. So that's kind of what I've typically been doing. But for this is kind of a typical formation I would use when I'm putting the minimum number of guys on the front line. It kind of gives you tackle zone coverage all the way back a little bit further, limits the number of guys he can hit for free. He only can take 1 blitz action, so he can only hit 1 guy that's not already adjacent to his guys to start with. Let's take a look. That's actually a blizzard. So moving an extra square will slip and be knocked down on a roll of 1 or 2. Snow reduces visibility, so only quick or short passes can be attempted. So that would affect me more than him, because I'm the passer. Although I think a star player does actually have the ability to pass. So I just want to check my placement of my catchers with the different abilities. And that's relatively okay. Let's take a look at his star player. So he does have a 4 strength. He's got strong arm, sure hands, tackle, typical thick skull, typical loner, Hail Mary pass, secret weapon. So he doesn't actually have a weapon on him. I'm thinking this is kind of, from what I remember from the second edition, there was one that had like a musket, basically. You can put the ball in the musket and shoot it downfield, that kind of thing. Counting as a secret weapon does mean that if play stops, he'll be gone. And then we, of course, have the Chainsaw Goblin back here, who's not fun to deal with. So I think we'll just call that good. Let me just quickly check stream. Everything's working okay. All right. I did have issues with the last one, so I'm kind of checking a little bit more frequently. I do have to Alt-Tab out to check that, so I'm not checking constantly or have another screen up to see it all the time. So we'll call that good, see what he does. I'm putting a ton of guys on the front line. This X here is kind of the center position, and it's usually what I'll go ahead and kick for, especially since I don't have kick. Kicks deviate quite a bit. It actually feels like more in this game than the previous one. Basically, I just want the ball to stay on the field, so he's got to make a die roll to pick it up. Anytime you got to make him make more die rolls, the more likely he is to fail something. And actually get another teamer roll. That's nice. So sometimes you just want to make them roll as many dice as possible, and sometimes defensively that's all you can do is make it so they'll have to make a bunch of rolls. And hopefully they'll eventually fail. So having played Chaos Dwarves, what I might do is try to really hammer the Hobgoblins. They're the main ball handlers. The Chaos Dwarf blockers can take the ball, but they only have a 2 agility. So it's a little bit difficult for them to pick up the ball. So if I can take out his guys that are mostly the ones that are going to handle the ball, it really limits what he can do. And that's a tactic that works really well against teams like Lizardmen, especially with the Skinks, because they have Stunty. So if you can, you're much more likely to hurt them. So that's something that will work sometimes if you're lucky with your die rolls and you want to do a lot of damage. Sort of depends on the dice, though. And that's something I'll mention as well in Blood Bowl. If things can go wrong, they will go wrong. It's very dice-based. There's a lot of RNG that happens. When you're playing the board game, it's just bad luck. You know, you feel like, oh, my luck's terrible today. Playing against the AI, it sometimes feels a little, I don't know, maliciously guided and directed, something like that. So in Blood Bowl, typically what you want to do is anything safe first, something that doesn't require any die rolls. Getting guys up is often a priority, but if you want to move guys away and dodge them, then you'd want to wait. So this guy, yeah, it's fine. I'll just have him stand up. This guy, I might want to move away from the Bull Centaur, but I also might want to sort of tie up the Bull Centaur and make it harder for him to move. So I'm kind of thinking that's what I want to do. So we'll just have him stand up, and I might even move somebody up as well, just to kind of tie up the Bull Centaur. This is his main blitzer. So if I can do something to him, that's always helpful. I would also like to get a hit in on this star player. He still counts as a goblin and has Stunty, I believe, right? Yes, so he's much more likely to get injured if he goes down, and the chainsaw effects also do the same thing. But before we do that, anything that doesn't require die rolls, basically chasing around the side towards the ball, moving anybody up for assists that you might want, things like that. My guys aren't super fast, but they have decent movement, especially having come from playing Chaos Dwarves. It feels like it. I'm just going to try to attack the ball from as many different directions as I can. Probably will blitz with my blitzer here. I'd really like him to get an injury, so I'll try to hit the star player with him. Everybody else, we're kind of moving in a position where we can attack from the sides and the back and the front, possibly. For now, what I might do is just move him up for an assist for a block here. And we'll just move him up to sort of tie up the Bull Centaur. I often don't like leaving my guys adjacent to his if I can avoid it. It just means free blocks. But in this case, early on, we want to get in his way and stop him from advancing the ball super easily. So hopefully we can do some damage here. Nope. I'm actually going to stay put. I don't want to get chainsawed. I'll be fine blitzing him if I have to. I will keep my thrower back deep just in case things go horribly wrong. Got an advantageous block here, so we'll go ahead and throw it. So hopefully these guys will at least stay on their feet, sort of blocking the way this way. I don't have real great coverage, just kind of a seam here he can get through possibly if he wants to run through, or here. But he can't really make it too far, so I should be able to catch up with anybody I need to. Possibly overcommitting a little bit here with this many guys running around the side. Kind of see how far he moves up. Kind of hoping for the negative effects that the blizzard will go away when play stops next. If I get the ball, I definitely don't want the blizzard active, since I'm mainly throwing the ball. He's going to be building a big cage here around the ball carrier, probably. With all those guys that having guard and then the other skills that they've got, it'll be really difficult to break into that. Yep, that's how block saves you, keeps you on your feet. Well, can save you, anyway, depending on the dice, of course. Yeah, I think attacking from that direction where the Chainsaw Goblin is, try to get a hit on him as well, and get adjacent to the ball from that direction is probably my best choice. And here we'll just stand him up. May want to dodge out of this position just to move over as well. So I can use this blitzer to get a hit on this guy, but I would have to go for it, and right now there's an increased chance of that failing. I think I can also get to him without having to go for it here. Yeah, that'll be fine. So go ahead and do that and kind of see what develops. I still have a reroll. I don't really have anything else super urgent I want to do. I probably should do some other positioning and stuff first. I'm going to follow it up. It does make this guy kind of a big target, but anything to get somebody on the ball and make it a little bit more difficult for him. Got a good injury there, so that's nice. He's out for the rest of the game. Got some star player points. We'll just move him up for an assist here so we can throw a block. Going to continue chasing from this side as well, trying to get some more guys coming this way. We'll try to dodge out of here, throw a block there with an advantage. Not sure what I'm going to do with him. I think we'll just pull him back a little bit. To deal with him, I'll have to blitz him. So trying to maintain some tackle zone coverage, although this guy's kind of in a lot of trouble. As you can see, I can get almost all the way over to the side with him. So I am going to go ahead and shift him over one, just in case, so that I can make it all the way to the edge without having to go for it if I need to next turn. I don't think that's going to happen. We'll go ahead and do this block, and then we'll try to dodge my other catcher out. Unfortunately, we're not doing anything here. It's going to be really difficult dealing with these guys with all the skills that they've got. Of course, since they've got tackle, my dodge skill doesn't count. So that's why it's a little bit more risky. I'm kind of waiting to do other things before trying that. I'm not putting him adjacent to someone. I want to have some players free that I can move wherever I want, unless the opponent here moves some people adjacent to them to tie them up. Do have an advantageous block here, so we'll go ahead and try for that. And we'll follow it, then I can also do another block as well. Just shoving him around. Might want to dodge out of this position as well, kind of being swarmed. I wouldn't mind him being necessarily one-off here against the Hobgoblin, so we'll try to dodge out of there. Basically just keeping somebody here so that the tackle zone coverage is kind of solid through this area. He can probably pretty easily take him out and make an opening, but he'll have to blitz. Still have somebody deep. We've got a lot of guys kind of swarming from behind, so hopefully we can get the ball free. That's the hard part with an agile team. You can often score very quickly with them, teams like Skaven or Wood Elves or High Elves, but sometimes it can be really hard to get the ball away. I really enjoyed playing Wood Elves in the previous game, and it was a little bit easier, I think, to get the ball away from the opponent with them, because you have the War Dancers, and you could have a Tree Man, and that really helps your ability to hit the other team and do some damage to them. This is one of the things that the AI will do quite often, throwing a block when it's at a strength disadvantage. I will never do this, even against someone with the ball. It's incredibly reckless to do that. But the AI does it a lot, and that almost never goes bad for it. It's surprising sometimes how well that turns out for the AI. I often can't even get, a one-die block to go my way, let alone something I'm at a disadvantage at, As the commentator said, building a cage around the ball. KO. I'll never use an apothecary for a knockout. I won't even use them for anything short of like a agility, strength reduction, possibly movement reduction on certain players. Typically I'm saving it for death. You can only use it once per game. There's another one, very aggressive block, having to use a reroll. Turns out okay. I mean, it did waste a reroll for him, but that's not much, really. So looking here, one thing you can do, you can actually blitz with guys that are down to start with, as long as you declare the blitz before you get them up. So that's possibly something I might want to do to hammer this Hobgoblin that's out front. I don't see a good way that I can get to the ball carrier to get a blitz with a hit on him. That would be 2 dice anyway. I could get a 1-die block maybe, but he's got a guy with guard here, a guy with guard here. So yeah, there's no way I can get even a 1-die block on that ball carrier. So blitzing there to kind of impede his forward momentum, possibly take somebody out is kind of what I'm looking at. I've got advantageous blocks here and here. I might be able to free up some guys with some blocks back here and get access, but we'll see. So since he is sort of in the way, I do kind of want to do that early on. It's really tempting. I'll go ahead and do some other stuff first. Well, I don't know. It's just since they're the only couple guys here really directly in front of them, it's much more tempting to just go ahead and do that first. But I would want an assist, so I'd move over here and then go ahead and do it. So we'll go ahead and do that first. I do have the rerolls, so hopefully it'll go okay. Sometimes I do think I get in the habit of throwing blocks more than I should. Kind of my habit from playing kind of bruiser teams and stuff in the past. Yeah, he does have dodge, right? No, he doesn't. Okay. The dodge and the sure hands look very similar. And I'll follow it up just to sort of blunt his forward momentum. We got a KO too, which takes out one of his players, so that's helpful. At least he's out until the play stops, and you can make a roll on that. See if he'll wake up. Using my player that's got block here to throw the block, just to see what we can get going. Freeing up some guys this way by taking them out. This player has guard, unfortunately. This guy has a 4 strength, so even if I move a couple guys over for assists, it's still going to be an even because I don't have anybody to deal with the situation. Yeah, I could go for an even block there just to try to take him out. I could try to attack here. This is probably a better thing to go for this side. Move one of these guys for the assist over. And we can set up a potential block next time here. I'll probably move him over to try to go for a 1-die block if I don't need the reroll somewhere else. So we're going to try to do this where I've got an advantageous blocks here first, at least with a couple dice. And what I'd like to do, even though it's unfortunate, try to tie up the bull centaur. This guy's going to take a shot because of it, but I don't really want him rushing over to help with this as well. So hopefully I can kind of beat my way in to get access to the ball carrier here. It's not looking super great. Yeah, so we've got a 1-die block here. But I do have block and tackle. Yeah, just a push is unfortunate. And I'm actually going to stay put. Just trying to disrupt his formation. I'm going to have to try to take out some more of these guys if I want to get into the ball carrier. And again, I'm going to leave him deep here just in case things go wrong. He does have a way he can sort of dodge through here if he wants to try. The AI is thinking, and still thinking. Yeah, he's going down, unfortunately. I'd like my guys to stay on their feet here if possible, even if they get pushed around. Not too big of a deal. KO is not good either. Could be worse, but I'd rather have my guys stay on the field. That's good. Nice! We get a turnover. Let's see if I can actually take advantage of that and get to the ball carrier now. That's why you do the safe things first. Like I said, things can go wrong and will go wrong in Blood Bowl. It's kind of the way it goes. I may do now, I'm going to go ahead and move him up for an assist, throw the block, then I can use catchers to go after the ball carrier. Since he's got block, I can use him for an assist. That's the plan, as long as nothing goes wrong. I do kind of need to take this guy down, though, because he's got guard. Just pushing him doesn't help me much. Unfortunately, especially with staying firm, definitely doesn't help me much. Well, that is a problem. Yeah, so now I can't really get a good block on the ball handler, thanks to his guard. If he didn't have guard, I could get a one-die block without too much problem. I'd go ahead and go for it, but in this kind of situation, I can't. So we're going to try to deal with the Chaos Dwarf blocker here. Take him down, at least for now. Unfortunately, no injury or anything. He's just going to get up next turn. It does kind of do this when you blitz and throw a block. It looks like you're done, but if you click on the player right away, you still have movement. You can still do stuff. As long as you don't do anything with anyone else first, you can still move this player around. And I will go ahead and move them up here, which does make them a really big target. I could even potentially try to foul this Chaos Dwarf here. That's not a terrible idea, actually. I don't foul very often, but occasionally it's useful. So if I moved, for example, the blitzer down to this position, and then I moved the catcher over and had him foul, I might have a maybe 50% chance. I don't really want my catcher out for the rest of the game, though. It would be nice to do something to take out one of these players with guard, though. So I'm going to try to dodge out of this position. And instead of going for the fouling, we're just going to sort of tie up his guy here as much as possible, put some other people on the ball carrier. I'll probably dodge out of these positions too if I can. And throw him in as well. Trying to move out of here. Use a reroll. Can't use dodge because he got tackle. No, going down anyway. Yeah, even an 83% chance with 2 die rolls, things will go against you sometimes. You can't rely on it. Unfortunately, all these guys with guard are really making things difficult for me. And there's a case where his dodge would have saved him, but they've got tackle as well. The skills that the dwarves and Chaos Dwarves start with are so incredibly useful. It really makes up for their lack of movement. As long as you're playing them carefully. You just have to kind of keep in mind that you have limited ability to react to things changing quickly, because you're a little bit slow. I'm surprised he didn't throw a block there with his Bull Centaur. So I've got a lot of guys hung up now, so I'll have to make some dodge rolls to get out, and I should be able to chase down the ball carrier. If I can get free, anyway. Do have an advantageous block here, which would free up some guys not having to make some die rolls. He does have stand firm, so that might be a little hard. I'm going to go ahead and go for it, see if I can free up some guys. Yeah, push does nothing. we'll stand up here just to kind of keep him tied up. Keep tackle zone coverage as well. So my main person who could get to the ball carrier is the catcher. I'd like somebody else to get there for an assist, but I don't see an easy way to do that. Definitely not an easy way. That's for sure. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go for the one die block first, and then we'll try to get some guys out of these positions. And we'll try to get at least some people out first. It is 83% chance. I want to save that reroll for the hit on the ball carrier, though. We're just going to pull him back in case things go bad again, so I have somebody who can respond. You always kind of want to have somebody at least that can maybe have a chance at stopping the ball from moving forward. It's better than having nobody who can reach the ball carrier. Got a one die block here that's not terrible. So we're going to go ahead and do the blitz here. You got to declare the blitz before you stand up. Then you can stand up. Hopefully we can make the dodge. We have to use the reroll there. So now I've got no reroll for the hit. And of course it's tacker down. Like I said before, playing Blood Bowl, if things can go wrong, they often will go wrong. And that's even stuff when I have a really good chance, so 83% on the dodge failed. And then throwing a block with someone, I think I've got block. Yeah, so I have block, so only thing that would really mess me up would be the attacker down result. So of course that's what comes up. Another KO. Kind of beat up here. I'm running out of players to go after the ball carrier here. Oh, another KO, jeez. I'd really like my guys to stay on their feet, but it's just not happening. Oh, there's somebody staying on their feet finally. Yeah, that's not making things easy for me, is it? Okay, you can stand up just to get in the way. This guy I'd like to pull out of this position. And I don't have the movement here to get up and maybe dodge out and then run around for an assist. But I wouldn't mind moving him back a little bit. See if we can get out of that position. I'd like to move him out of there. I'd like to move him away from there as well. So what I think I'm going to do here is blitz again with him. Unfortunately, this guy has guard. This guy does not, so I need somebody else to negate his tackle zone. Then I could move down and actually throw a blitz on the ball carrier. So we'll try to get him free to move over to negate his tackle zone. So no rerolls having to use so far. Try to get to the position here. It's only a 1-die block. I do have the reroll. I'm going to go ahead and use it. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm pushing him towards the end zone. I am going to follow up. It does make him a big target. The more people I have on the ball carrier, the better. So this player will also try to get out of here. Just move further down in case we need it. I'm going to try to get free here. We've got a little bit of a seam there we can run through without having to dodge, get closer to the ball carrier from another direction. At this point, probably what I'm going to be doing is just sort of stalling him so he can't score in the half. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the ball away from him the way things are going. And we're moving forward here just to increase tackle zone coverage of this area in case he tries to come through. Most likely these guys are going down that are here, so we'll see what he does. Yeah, some teams start off where they're not super great, but as they level up, they can become incredibly difficult to deal with. And Dwarves and Chaos Dwarves both are teams that it's really hard to get the ball away from once they've got it, especially once things have progressed and they've picked up some skills. Then you start running into guard and stand firm and things like that that can really make it hard to get to the ball carrier as long as they're actually going to really protect that ball carrier and kind of charge down the field. Unfortunately, he's not moving super quickly down the field. So sometimes you can just sort of stall them. So luckily there, I just got a push on me. That guy's going down though. Okay, running out other direction. He's got a couple guys over there that he can move over to help protect him. Unfortunately, that guy does have guard. It's probably going to limit me to just a 1-die block on him. So here I'm just going to stand up to sort of tie these guys up in case things go wrong. This movement's 6. So we have to go for it a couple times, make it into the end zone. Let me go a bit deep here just in case. I can't really get a 2-die block on the ball carrier anyway, thanks to this guy having guard. Both of them having guard anyway. I'd like to move this guy out of that position, so I'm going to wait to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the hit on the ball carrier. Only a 1-die block. But I do have block and he doesn't. There's another attacker down. And just a push. But I have now pushed him back far enough that he can't go for it twice, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go for it, go for it. He can't make it in this turn no matter what. I'm going to just move over to get an assist here for the block, which for next turn hopefully will free somebody up. I'm going to try to chase around from this direction by dodging out too. So let's see if we can get away. I'm putting him in a little bit of a bad situation. Yeah, we'll give him a little bit of assistance.
Absolutely have to stop it, or whatever.
Try to get away from these guys. Sort of using everybody I can to chase down the ball. So we just gotta see what we can do here. Double attacker down. You see my luck is not really with me right now. This is one of those times when you kind of feel like something's not quite right. Yeah, no long-term effect is fine. I'm not going to do anything with that. I'm just letting this run. The last game I had, it only went a couple seconds and then just magically disappeared. And that's something that's come up a couple times, even when I've been streaming, that the timer for the injury result on whether you want to use the apothecary sometimes is only 3 or 4 seconds long. So you have to make a decision super fast. I'm pretty much only going to use it for deaths, strength reductions, agility reductions, that kind of thing, though. This is his last turn. I don't think there's any way he can score here. Yeah, definitely now. I don't think he can. He would need somebody else further down. He could move to hand off the ball to. Yeah, thanks to tackle, going down. So the block and dodge is really useful against most teams, but against dwarves and chaos dwarves, where everyone has tackle, it doesn't help quite as much. Block still useful though.
That's it. Throw the ball in their face. That range they'll go down as if you were flinging.
Wow, there we go. There's a death that I don't want to happen. Damage back, I guess, is better than being dead. So any other injury from now on is going to be worse. Yeah, these guys are just hammering me in this game. I haven't been beat up this bad before with the High Elves. They do have decent armor, so the chances of getting injured aren't super bad. But, man, not going super well here. Just looking at being able to get a 2-die block on the ball carrier. He's about the only one I could possibly injure anyway. It would be the catcher here throwing the block. I'd have to go for it with the thrower to move into a position where I can get an assist. So I'd have to move to here for the assist and then block there. I've got the rerolls. I guess I might as well go for it. It's the end of the half. Of course it fails. I've had really bad luck with going for it rolls anyway, even when it's not increased.
Not a wise place to end your turn on the border of the pitch. If the player gets pushed into the crowd, well, last time that happened.
I've had entire games where every time I've gone for it and my opponent has gone for it, they've all failed. So sometimes it does kind of seem like it's a little off, maybe more like a 50% chance of failing instead of a 1 in 6 chance. And finally get the ball free here, and it won't matter. No injury or anything there, unfortunately. Don't really have anything else I can do here, so I'm just going to call that good. That'll be the end of the half. So you see the end result there was me getting beat up a lot, but I stopped him from scoring, and now I'll be getting the ball. I should be able to score pretty quickly. It's kind of one of the advantages of being a very agile team. I'm probably going to have to because I'm low on guys, and he's going to beat me up even more. Depending on what's happening, you can sort of draw things out a little bit longer. You want to keep in mind how many turns it takes your opponent to move down the field and not give him much time with the ball. So he's losing his star player, and the chainsaw guy was already out. So he is kicking first, so this is his setup to start with. Something that my weird automatic setup here for some reason. So many guys down. So I'm kind of using my B team level guys. Don't want my blitzers on the front line. I want them free. I'm going to go ahead and put them on the front line here. There's nobody directly adjacent. It does mean that it's less distance for me to get to the end zone. Putting my catchers with block kind of in the front. So the other guys are knocked out or injured. Yeah, one knocked out, one injured. So actually my better guys are the ones that are still in the game. That's helpful, I guess, under the circumstances. So this is kind of a typical thing I would probably do. I'd have more guys normally, but I'll keep him deep with the kickoff return to deal with catching the ball, and then tossing the ball forward from there. If I can have an advantage, I sometimes will stack up more guys on the front line. He's got players with guard on the front line, though, so it's really nothing I can do that's helpful. What I might even do is kind of a really weird setup here. You have to have at least 3 guys on the front line, but they don't have to be opposite the other team. So I'm actually going to put them in positions where more guys are free to move on my turn, just so I have a few more options. He does have guys with kick, so he's got a bit more control over where it goes. All my guys get to move a square. Okay. Well, he can move right there and maybe catch the ball.
It's called Rotten Cadaver by Tommy Helping.
Move him up. Move him up. Move him up. Moving everyone I can forward a bit. And we catch the ball. Nice. So my initial plan is to sort of attack on this side because he has the Bull Centaur here. Bull Centaur is pretty quick and can move across the field. but starting away from him would be a little bit better. So what I'm actually going to do is move this guy up for an assist on the edge. The way I've set this up, I actually have an advantageous block.
Trying to assist their teammate.
I'm just going to throw this guy in here to try to tie up the bull centaur. So we'll go ahead and start the attack and see what kind of openings we can make. Kind of go from there.
As an assist.
Actually going to stay put. I might end up building a cage kind of around here for the ball carrier, at least for now. His guys are slow, so if I can move one direction and get him to really commit to this side, his dwarves at least have a really hard time readjusting later. So I could draw them over to one side while moving the catcher down the field, then pull out to the other side and then toss it down to him. That's sort of a rough plan, at least.
Close and personal, Bob.
Need to make this.
Try to see if we can take out one of his chaos dwarves here.
Add insects in your tea.
He's about to get punched above and
Just pushing is not helping me out. Stay put. And I'm just going to move over to tie up the hobgoblin. Bring the other blitzer over in case things go wrong. I've got somebody else free I can deal with the situation or help deal with the situation. Him I might leave here, or I might try to dodge around the side to just get him down the field if everything goes well. I think for now what I'm just going to do is kind of build sort of a loose... Well, leave him there actually. Sort of a loose cage and advance the ball here a little bit. Because of his guard ability, if he can move adjacent to me, then he's got additional blocks for free, extra dice. So
Played on this pitch before.
I'd like to prevent him from getting anybody with guard adjacent to the ball carrier, which is why I'm not moving here. If he can move somebody with guard here, I'm here. He's got a blocking advantage. So just kind of keeping him back a little bit. And I will go ahead and try, well, actually I'm going to go ahead and just leave him there for now. I'm hoping he's going to commit his guys over this direction, and then I'll be able to move him down further on the next turn without having to roll any dice to do it, instead of having to make a bunch of dodges around the edge. It's really dangerous to do that if you do go down and then you try to get up. If you leave somebody there, he can knock you right off the field. So for now, that's all I'm going to do.
They've gone into the opponent's
He does have a lot of guys free, so he can move a lot of people over. Kind of sort of setting it up so it looks like I might want to just run the ball forward. And if he responds that way, then I can move out and toss. So now I've got a clear path I can run down the side. Although this guy's going to get hammered. Yeah, no injury though.
on the edge of the field, within grasping range of the fields.
Throwing a block with a hobgoblin, a little bit dangerous. All he gets is a push. So him, we'll just try to tie up as many of his guys as we can, and just have him stand up and stay there. I might try to blitz around and hit one of the hobgoblins on the side here, and then we can look at either rolling out, tossing, and running down, or just sort of hanging out for now and moving him down this turn. But I would like to at least get some hits on this hobgoblin on the end if I can. It's one of those times when I feel like I might be throwing too many blocks, sort of my experience playing bruiser teams, maybe making me make bad decisions. Yeah, just getting pushes is not helping me a lot. Been rolling a lot of pushes in this game. I don't really want to leave this guy here, but I do want to tie up the Bull Centaur. So he's just going to get hammered again. That's just kind of what has to happen, I guess. Yeah, I'd like to sort of have kind of a pocket and protected here, and then run him up relatively free in a point where I can get the ball to him and score in the same turn. So that's kind of what I'm going to aim for. I still could toss the ball to him even there, honestly, and just run out and do that. Positioning, 1, 2, 3, 4, go for it, go for it. So this guy could hit me. I'd have to go for it at least once to be free from any chance of getting blitzed. He's also got the Bull Centaur who can move, and if he goes for it enough, can definitely hit me as well. So it's very tempting to go ahead and get the ball to him right now, but I've got the guys free. I'll probably just protect myself for now and just hope that I can move out and get the ball free next turn. I'm just going to throw another advantageous block here on the edge. Finally taking somebody down. Not going to follow that up. It wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea to have somebody there, because if he gets up, then I have a good chance of knocking him off the field, but I want to protect the ball carrier as my first priority. So for now, at least, what I'm going to do is move into a fairly safe position. What I'm hoping here is that he really commits to this side, and then what I can do is move out this way and then toss the ball down. Although the long passes, I think, are not allowed right now, right? Only quick and short passes can be attempted. That's actually going to be a problem. So I don't know if I can get close enough to get a quick or a short pass off. Probably not from here. But I'm already committed. He is committing a lot of guys over here just to this one little lineman that I have. Injury sound was kind of funny there. He's going to have his Bull Centaur free, but it doesn't do anything with him. That's really surprising. This poor lineman here is kind of screwed. Stand him up, sort of tying up people that way. So the other thing I could potentially do would be to just hand off or toss the ball to this lineman and have him move the ball down the field. I'd like to actually get him out of this position. I only really want to tie up the Bull Centaur. He's the only one I really care about. Anybody that's quick, I kind of want to tie up if I can here.
That's it. Get in their face.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to move far enough here to get the ball to him in a pass. This is really as far as I can get without having to go for it. I'm pretty sure that's further than a short pass. So instead, what I'm going to do is hand off to the lineman.
They switch possession of the ball. Plays risky.
Don't think I can hand it off again. I'm not 100% sure, actually. I know you can only pass once in a turn, but I'm not sure about handing off multiple times in a turn. I think you can. We're going to try for it. No, only handing off once a turn. So you can hand off and then pass, or pass and hand off, but no double handoffs. Okay. So we'll try to protect him. Try to get out of that position. I'd like to type the Bull Centaur, just don't have the movement to get there without going for it, and right now I really don't want to go for it. Try to escape from these positions we're stuck in. Just kind of putting myself in a position where I'm making it difficult for him to get to the ball carrier. Really, the Bull Centaur is the only one I'm worried about. So hopefully he'll be able to hold on to the ball. I don't necessarily want him to score, unfortunately, because he does have reduced armor value. But I wouldn't necessarily mind either. If he had block or something, it would be okay. A 1-point armor reduction isn't that big of a deal. From an 8 to a 7, from a 7 to a 6, or a 6 to a 5, it's a bit more of a problem.
Defensive pressure gathering.
Okay, just a push there. He's actually moving me closer to the end zone.
Kill the fool carrying the ball. Then you stop.
What I'll probably do here is block or blitz that Bull Centaur. Try to take him out so I don't have to even make a dodge roll at all. This poor lineman getting hammered again. I was thinking about I might be able to get some advantageous blocks against these hobgoblins, but then he started moving the Chaos Dwarf blockers over to assist him. If I go ahead and score, then he's going to have the ball back, and I'm at a disadvantage with the number of guys that I have available. I might be able to stall another turn or so here if I can take out the Bull Centaur, because his other guys are so slow, just because I don't want to give him that much time with the ball once he gets it back. So I may not actually go in for the score this turn. I'm going to try to take out the Bull Centaur. If I just get a push on him, then I'm going to go ahead and score. And he's got block, so just a push. Try hitting him again, since I can. Another push. Yeah, I don't really like what's happening here, but I think I'm going to go ahead and have to score. He does have quite a few turns. It's going to be really hard for me to get the ball away from him. I've got a lot of guys down. I could get an advantageous block here. Even though I don't have block, it does make it a little bit risky, but I've got a reroll, so we'll try for it. Just hoping that I can maybe get an injury somewhere. Yeah, if you want to get injuries, you have to roll the dice. So yeah, we'll just have to go ahead and score here. He'll level up at least. It does leave a lot of time left for him, and I'm going to have a really hard time getting the ball away from him. So really, all I'm probably going to be able to do is slow him down. If I can get my blitzer with strip ball up, I might be able to knock the ball loose. I'll just have to pay attention to the positioning there, since I just have the one blitzer who has it. At least one of my knocked out guys recovered.
That team's opponent must have the magic sponge this time. They're short of one player.
Well, let me pause it here for a second. I'm getting the same error I got last time when I was streaming, which was a media resource decoding error, and I'm not sure if that's coming up for people watching it or not. When I looked at the video last time, it was fine. Watching the video later, maybe I just can't see what I'm streaming, so I'm not sure if people are actually watching or not, or if it's actually really live, or if they're just seeing 3000 media resource decoding error. But I'm going to continue anyway, because I'm also recording it, and I can put it up on YouTube as well. So I'm hoping it's fine for people watching,
The opponents. Now it's time to think different.
since I do have people watching. And I'm kicking off here, which is not great. Does not make me super happy. I don't like kicking the ball away under the circumstances. Still down a player. So that's not great either. I'm just, yeah, pretty much at this point, all I can really most likely do is stall so that he runs out of time. But I do have a blitzer with strip ball, so I'm hoping I can get in a position where I might be able to knock the ball loose. But I'm hoping there's no problem with the stream, like I said. It's the same error that I had last time. It's kind of weird to have it come up a couple times in a row. So I can actually change my defense. That's cool. He threw everybody he had on the front line, unfortunately, so there isn't really much that I could do.
That ball started to look a little tatty.
But I am going to move up
You just want me to set
my guys on the sides. He's sort of committed here.
I'm not that.
Get me a little bit closer to lapping around the sides, getting towards the ball carrier. I could put some more guys up on the line, but he's got so many guys with guard, it really doesn't matter. I can't really cancel out much. So I'll just deal with it. Yeah, again, all I'm seeing is the error up on the stream, so I'm not sure if people watching are actually seeing anything other than the error. I'm not sure if you can hear me. When I checked before, the video was still fine later, and then I wasn't able to save it as well. I always save it when I stream, and then I can put it up on YouTube as well. So I was able to pick up the ball there and go for it without much problem. Only pushed my one guy there on the front line, so things are going relatively okay so far. And another just push. So if I can rush past his Chaos Dwarf blockers and get to the ball carrier, that would be nice. Unfortunately, moving this Bull Centaur over makes it harder for me to get access on this side. So I'm just going to move him up to tie up these hobgoblins here. I don't really have a good way to attack and get through without putting people on the edges. So I think I'm going to have to put somebody on the edge. So I'll just put a basic lineman over there. Not in a great position. We'll see if I can get through, run the catcher down towards the ball carrier, and maybe do something next turn. Just a push. Could try to dodge away from there and then move down as well.
That's a dangerous place to be.
Running down towards the ball carrier. It'd be nice if I could get him in the backfield here before he gets a big cage built around him. All these guys with guard are really making this difficult. And I could try to dodge around the side here as well. It's a little risky to have to make so many dodge rolls. Go for this block here just in case I can get something going.
Has to be anchored to the spot.
Alright, we're going to try to get around the side here. Using a reroll there because his tackle counteracts my dodge.
Dangerous place to be.
Well, that's one guy around. Since I've used the reroll, I'm probably not going to try to dodge around the blitzer as well. I think I'll just leave him here just in case things go wrong. I'll have somebody I can respond with. I'll keep the thrower deep just in case too. Just checking the stream again. Yeah, all I'm seeing is the recording error, and I'm hoping that, or decoding error, so I'm hoping it's fine for people watching, but I don't think so since I went from 3 viewers to 0. Not that I get a whole lot of viewers normally, but it's kind of unusual to have no viewers at all at a game at this point. So I'm assuming it's probably not streaming. It's very irritating that I'm suddenly having this issue, the last stream and this stream. But at least the video later was fine, and then I could put it up on YouTube fine. So really sorry about that. I have no idea what's going on.
Close and personal.
You need to get close. Smell your
Going after my catcher here with the Bull Centaur, taking him down. Another injury. Okay, just missed next game. That's another guy out for the rest of this game. And he's running way out here, and then we'll pull some guys over for protection. Kind of losing my chance to hit him in the backfield. I had to use a reroll there, but still takes me down. Well, this isn't great. So here we're just going to try to tie people up. What I might do is an attack on this back hobgoblin. Maybe. I'll use him to tie up the Bull Centaur. Try to get the Blitzer away from that position. Don't think he can actually get anywhere to make a hit, though. If I go for it. I'd have to go for it once to get a hit in on him. So I think what I'm going to do here, moving him up for an assist, we'll blitz with him, hit this guy, hopefully take him down, and then move him adjacent here instead of adjacent to the ball carrier, just to kind of attack this cage that he's got building.
Come on, guys. Together.
Stay put, because then we're going to readjust back to the other hobgoblin. We got a KO that'll help a little bit. We're still at a disadvantage, though, for the number of guys on the field. Try to get the blitzer out of there, and he doesn't, so I have to use a reroll. I don't really want to put him on someone directly. I'd like to be able to blitz with him if I can, because I want him going after the ball carrier because he's got the strip ball. Don't have a reroll anymore, but I want to try to deal with this guy. And of course, double attacker down. Shouldn't have even tried, probably. Yeah, so he's going to try to tie up that blitzer. Actually, he's going to blitz that guy with the strip ball. Just a push, that's good. So still in a position where I might be able to get to the ball with him. So if I can get my guys to just stay on their feet, you know, like there would have been nice to just get a push or something. Or attacker down or something that would have helped me like that. He's running over the other way. This is his 14th turn. He's got 2 more. So he's got to make some more forward progress to be able to score. I'm hoping I can stop him from scoring. Yeah, we can just, all these 1-die blocks are coming out just fine for him. Standing these guys up to be in the way here, pretty much. So many people on their back. And we'll leave him here adjacent to the bull centaur to try to keep him tied up. I'm going to try to free him up here with just a regular block. Not what I wanted, that's for sure. I can get a 1-die block on the ball carrier with my guy with strip ball. I've got to make a couple dodge rolls to do that though. So is there anything else I wanted to do first? Shift over here a little bit, just so I can make it to the edge of the field if I need to next turn. And I'll go ahead and try for it. Fail the dodge roll, to use a reroll. Have to make another dodge roll. Okay, we're clear. So I'm of course probably going to roll attacker down here for the block. No, I actually take him down. I am going to stay put. Ball goes free a little bit there. And I'm going to keep him free, so if he does pick up the ball, I'll have somebody who can go after the ball carrier. So even though it bit me already, I'm going to try for the block here again. This time we actually take him down. Doesn't make too much of a difference. So with his 2 turns left, having knocked the ball down like that, I don't think he's going to be able to score now. Fail picking up the ball. Yes, he failed. It's got rerolls though. Surprised he's blitzing over to clear up the Bull Centaur, but I guess he wants to move the Bull Centaur up. No, I thought he was going to move him up to defend the ball carrier. Instead, moving him over here for an assist on the catcher. Oh, another injury. That's not good. Missed next game. Okay. I'm getting really beat up in this game. Okay, my last turn. So it looks like I can get a hit on the ball carrier again, so we'll definitely do that. Stand up the guys that we can stand up. Just to keep them tied up. Hit the ball carrier, see what we can do. Just one die, we do have a reroll. Push is fine, because that'll knock the ball free, and I'll follow it up because no one else is around. Just going to stay there on the ball and on him. Throw a block here, just why not? I don't often do one die blocks, but at the end of the game, it doesn't really matter too much. Move over for an assist here. Since I do have block with this guy. Try to dodge out of position and doesn't go full. Use the reroll. Just sort of tying up his guys. And that's all I can do. But at least there's no way he can score at this point. Hopefully no more injuries though. He's gotten quite a few injuries on me here. Blitz my poor lineman here. KO. Okay. Yeah, the commentator. I smell obliteration. Yeah, I'm kind of getting beat up here pretty bad, that's for sure. Just kind of hoping for no more injuries here for the rest of the game. That's it. He actually picked up the ball there. That was pretty tough. And the Blizzard ended up staying for the whole game here. No injury, no injury, no injury. Okay. Well, that was kind of brutal. I got beat up here pretty bad. A lot worse than the last few times I played Chaos Dwarves.
This game is heading for mid-table obscurity.
I think I'll reroll a 1. How about we reroll the 1? Okay, that's better. My fan factor actually went up after that. So he had 12 armor breaks against me. I only had 3 against him, so his ball position, 75%, mine 18. Still won. Occupation, really high as well. Yeah, he had 61 blocks succeeded, 5 KOs, 4 injuries against me. I had 2 KOs and 1 injury inflicted against him. He had more running than I did, which is pretty surprising. 52 yards, I had 40. I had no passing at all. Yeah, star player points. He actually had more than I did, 13 there total. Just a lot of injuries there, those 2s. Actually, 2s across the board and then MVP. Yeah, that was a little brutal, actually. But still in first place. So now we're at, that was the 6th game, so there's only 1 more for the regular season before we go into the playoffs. So I'm at 6 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. We've got Skaven and Chaos Dwarves tied. I'm not sure if that was the one I just played or not. 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Necromancers and Goblins tied. 3 wins, 3 losses. And then we've got Chaos Dwarf, Vampire, and Kislev Circus, all 1 win, 5 losses. So who am I playing next? Dark Splinters, that's Skaven, I think. Yep, so Skaven will be next. They're always kind of tough to deal with. So let's see what kind of level ups I have. I'm going to be out 2 guys for the next game, 3 guys out for the next game, actually. It's quite a few of my better guys. So we've got my lineman, who is the reduced armor value, leveling up. See what we can get. Yeah, typical kind of thing here. We'll just go for block. And then my catcher, who got hurt, I think, the broken back, yeah, also went up. What do I have with him? I've got Catch, and he must be my guy that I have the Nerves of Steel with as well. Yeah. So dodge is kind of my typical thing I'd probably go for. Block is tempting as well, but I'd like to have dodge first. So we'll go ahead and go with dodge. Yeah, so pretty beat up there, actually. My team value is down to 1620 temporarily. Skaven are at 1450. So they won't be getting quite as much stuff next time, as opposed to this past game that I just had. So I do have some money. It's not enough to affect my team value, so I probably won't spend any money on anything. But I think I'm going to call it good there. Like I said, it's been kind of screwy here, so I'm not even sure if it's been streaming. Hopefully it has been at least saving it so that the video can be watched later. But I think that's going to be about it for now. I'm just going to check OBS and see if there's an update or something. It hasn't updated, but yeah, having issues with the last couple streams. So, but yeah, you can always check out my stuff on YouTube as well. I'll put stuff up there usually a bit after it's been on Twitch. So please check me out on Twitch, DisturbingPuppet, and also on YouTube. I'm DisturbingPuppet. Thank you to people who watched and hopefully didn't have any serious issues with the stream. Definitely kind of crazy, but hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.